Computer. Hi, everybody. Welcome to a chat with him about health information management. I am Dr. Kendra Sabree, and I am here with Mr. Peter Sanders. Hi, Peter.
Hello, Dr. Kendra Sabree. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you today?
Very well, thank you.
Oh, good. Thank you for making the time to join me on this segment for our audience. Can you just take a moment and introduce yourself really quickly?
Absolutely. I'm Peter B. Sanders. I'm an RHIT and a CCA. I am currently a full-time health information specialist at Baycare Medical Group.
Oh, fantastic. So are you ready to jump in?
Absolutely. Let's do
Oh,
it.
great. All right. So, not what I was trying to do here. Okay. So the first question is the why. So why did you choose HIM?
The why. Interestingly, I believe that him chose me.
Oh,
back,
okay.
back at a time, and I'll explain, back at a time when I was just looking for work. I'm doing everything. I was working part-time as a desk attendant and a few other things at a skilled nursing facility. And boss, the administrator at the time, really noticed how organized I was and detail oriented. And he told me so when the opportunity came, when the current HIM professional on staff pursued a different career and the position became open, and he asked me if I wanted to fill in the meantime. I'm like, sure, yes sir, whatever you need. And 9 years later I was running the entire department.
Wow. So that is fantastic. So
Right.
him chose you and you stayed in that position for 9 years.
Correct.
Okay. Wow. So I think when you tell me a little bit about your journey, maybe you can kind of give us some insight on what that position looked like. Okay. So I'll jump to the next question. Okay. I feel like you already just answered that. So was that your first job in the field?
It was,
Okay. So
yes. I was working there at the skilled nursing facility. I was doing a little bit of all sorts of things. I was kind of the go-to guy. I was a part-timer. I answered phones. I helped people file stuff. Sometimes I helped with billing and collections and HR. I was just kind of all over the place in the beginning, just wherever they needed help.
I was going to say, so what
And
was your job title, Peter?
what was my job title? I don't even remember at this point.
Okay.
I'm sure my name tag probably said desk attendant when I first started, and the company wasn't good at updating name tags, so I really don't know what the official title was.
Okay. All right. So how did you land that? Was that something that you just found online? You found in person, word of mouth?
The admissions director at the time knew me from previous endeavors, actually knew me from the theater I worked at, and
Okay.
she's a friend of the family. She was at our wedding, and she's
Oh,
like,
okay.
this opportunity we could, and she knew I needed work, so she had me come in.
Oh, that was fantastic. So I think that really shows the importance just of networking and just maintaining those relationships, right?
Oh, yes.
Okay. All right. So next question is the what. So what has the journey been like for you?
The journey overall, I feel like it's going to be one of those things where if I pick certain times in my HIM career
Yep.
so far, the needle may be all over the map, but overall, it's been pretty steady, which
Okay.
I like. From the beginning, I first stumbled into it. It was crazy. I taught myself how to do it. I did online research because, the person before me just left and I went into that position. So like, okay, I guess I'm doing this now. So thankfully there were a lot of resources, and even one human resource. I had what's it called? A mentor that I was able to
Oh,
reach
good.
out to, which
Good.
was good. So I learned a lot just on my own, figuring it out in the beginning, which was crazy, but the work has been steady.
Oh,
It's
that's nice
been
to hear.
really encouraging. And that's one of the reasons I stayed in it for so long. I mean, I know job security is a little bit of an illusion sometimes, but it's an illusion
Right.
I like,
Right.
I mean, because companies come and go, but our experiences are forever with us. What
Yeah.
we've learned, what we've gained, our education, our time we've spent, all of the projects we've completed, like nobody can take that from us. So when they
Oh
move
my
the cheese,
goodness.
as it were,
I
We're
love that. You
still
are so right.
secure in our job, in it may be with this company or another one, but like, okay, I'm still a HIM specialist. I'm still an RHIT.
Right. Okay. So tell me, and this is not one of the questions, but of course, you just sparked something else. So, since the field chose you, when did you make that decision to actually go back to school and pursue a degree in HIT?
I had been in that one position with that one company. I was running the entire department. Um, and I felt as if I was a little stagnant there.
Okay.
Like I had reached the top where I was, as it were,
Right.
the top, not the top of the food chain, but certainly there was no more room for advancement at that place at the time.
Okay.
And looking into it, I got introduced to SBC because my mentor actually had graduated from there.
Oh, okay.
She actually knew you. She pointed
Oh,
me out to the college, and I started looking into it. Like, well, let me take a couple of classes here and there just to see I can connect with somebody, go through the orientation, whatever, and I can see how far I am because I had previous college credits, but I never had any real direction before. So I just had credits hanging there in the air. Um, so I just the bricks sort of fell into place. And we were fortunate and blessed enough, and my wife did it all with me, meaning that she worked extra and full time to allow me to take that next step and pursue my education
wow. That's
full
wonderful.
time.
Kudos to her.
Kudos to her. I
Yeah.
could never, no, she gets full credit with me. We did it together because she worked and allowed me to go to school and work and knock it out because I did the math. I do a lot of math. Um, I make a lot of plans, make a lot of lists, and I do a lot of estimates. And it would have been, if I was still taking just one or two classes at a time working, I would have been pursuing my degree for a further 10 years.
Oh,
It just
wow. Wow.
never would
But
have happened.
a lot of our students are like that, though, or a lot of students in general, I say are, but just in this profession, because they come into this profession and they are full-time workers, right?
Right,
Oh, sometimes in a case, sometimes HIM professional, sometimes not, but they can only go to school part-time. So a
correct.
2-year degree is going to take them typically 4 to 6 years in order to complete it.
Or longer, right.
Right, right. Let's say
Mhm.
you fail a class. Let's say you need a semester off because you are overwhelmed. It
Right.
could take longer. So you're right. So how
Well,
long
not
did
to
it take
mention,
you?
sorry, yeah, I mean, not to mention all that, but even just burnout. I mean,
Right.
I've never been someone who's been 100% career focused. Like, I have a lot of hobbies and I
Mhm.
spend a lot of time doing a lot of things. So I couldn't just go to school full time and go to work full time. Like, that wasn't working for me. So
Right.
it is not lost on me how blessed I was that I was able to pursue it full time and get it knocked out. And even a 2.5 year or 2-year degree took me 2.5 years,
See?
and
Hmm.
just doing it the way I was.
But that's wonderful. And you are still blessed, Peter. You are.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, I am. I appreciate that. It is not lost on me.
All right. So next question, the where. Where do you want your career in HIM to take you?
This is an interesting question because I mean, as I mentioned, I've never been 100% career focused. I like my HIM career. I want to stay in it, but I'm pretty open-minded when it comes to the where. Because if
Okay.
someone were to ask me, what's your long-term HIM goal? Well, to stay employed. Uh, and that's really the bottom line. I have interest in a lot of different aspects of the HIM just umbrella. There's so much that can
Okay.
be done. And like there's some parts of it I like, some parts I don't like. Right now I'm doing medical record specialist things and assigning. I'm doing a lot of organizing and QA, which I really like.
Okay.
So yeah, really, where do you want your career and him to take you? Honestly, as long as I can pay my mortgage, as it were, I'm thrilled.
Oh, good, good. So there's not a position that you are gunning for, or you're just kind of going with the flow.
Not particularly, going with the flow, learning everything I can and seizing opportunities as they come.
Right, right. Because you never know, right?
Never know. Yep.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you. And then the last question, advice. What advice would you give to other males looking to start or transition into this profession?
Two things come immediately to mind. The first thing is get that experience.
Okay.
I had been doing it for 9 years before I even really started this education, and the education added on to what I had already learned.
Okay.
Um, that is one big thing. And the other thing is, I guess the word is networking. I mean, I found SPC through my mentor that I found through my other job, who I found through the theater I was working with. And interestingly, I'd worked a couple of other little him jobs, just PRN positions, helping out other facilities. And somebody I knew from one of those other facilities is on my team now
See?
and knew me when I had that interview. So holy cow, get that experience and get that network.
That's true.
And
And that also tells me don't burn bridges, right? Because
oh
you
my
never
goodness,
know who is
you
going to
never
be
know.
in the exact same place, um,
Right.
or on that interview committee.
Right. That's right.
So yeah, just you just never know when you're going to cross paths again.
Right.
And then would you say that your previous him experience helped you throughout your education? Was it something that you were able to lean on? Do you think that it made the education aspect somewhat easier?
100%. There
Mm,
is so much new material that came up in class. However, there was a lot that came up like, okay, I know this. And
okay.
not only there were some things that I learned, hey, I've been doing this correctly. Then others like, oh, well, this I could do a little better. And that was really
Okay.
nice to already have that foundation and already have a general understanding when I'm going into classes. For a specific example, one of the classes that I'm not going to say struggled with, but was very challenging for me was when we got into project management.
Okay.
Just the whole idea of all the little aspects of managing a project came up. It was like, okay, this class is so universal. This can apply to so many different things.
It's true. It's so true.
However, with the focus on him, I'm like, okay, so that actually helped me because I had a starting place. Like,
Mhm.
okay, let's look at project management, as it comes to, organizing a hymn department, or for example,
Mhm.
things that I had done.
Right,
So
right.
that
Whether
was
you've gone
really
through
nice,
an EHR implementation. I mean, there's
which I
so
did.
many things, right? Purging records. I mean,
Oh
there's
my
just
goodness.
so many projects that we participate in or that we lead. And sometimes we don't even think about it.
That's right. Yeah.
Mhm.
But it was really nice and helpful to lean on, like you said, when we come up to certain things throughout the courses and in the different books, textbooks and classes, like, okay, I remember when I had something to do with this. So let's learn more about it. Let's make sure I know what I'm doing moving forward, which was
Yes.
good.
Well, I love that, Peter. Thank you so much. Thank you
You're
for all of
welcome.
that information. I feel like it was bite-sized, but you included a lot.
Oh, thank
So
you. Thank you for interviewing me. This was really nice.
of course, of course. I look forward to doing it again. Best of luck on your hymns career. Please keep me posted.
I
And
will.
I
Thank you.
just look forward to staying in touch. So thank you for taking the
Absolutely.
time. I really appreciate it.
It was my pleasure. Thank you.
All right.